What's the best way to finish these MDF edges? Well, I did all the tests for you, so you don't have to. Let's go! Hi everyone, welcome to Qube. My name is David and today we're gonna be doing a lot of experiments with MDF edges. For an upcoming project, I need a lot of MDF painted and prepped. And although I hate working with MDF, it doesn't mean we can make it look good. At least we'll try it. Through my Instagram, I tried tapping into the collective intelligence to find out what the best way was to finish these MDF edges. And there wasn't really a conclusive answer. So I tried, why don't I do the experiments myself so you don't have to. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. I have 7 ways to finish these MDF edges. And I have 3 more, so stick around till the end to find out what the last one is, because I've got something special up my sleeve. But for now, I'll show you what we have, what the most common ways are to finish these MDF edges, and then we'll go from there. So let's go. All right, let's get this test started. We'll start with the diluted wood glue. And I've added just a little bit of wood glue, normal wood glue, not your water resistant wood glue, just to be sure. I've added a little bit in here. I'm just gonna add a little water. I'm gonna do this on the looks of it because I have no idea what the ratio should be. If anyone knows, please let us know down below. But we'll try this out. I'm gonna do a little bit by little bit until I see the wood glue be a little bit more runny than this, because I think the objective is to fill the pores with glue so it's saturated and closed by the glue. At least that's what I think. There, I think that's plenty of water, to be honest. Maybe a little bit less would have been enough. I think it's too runny, to be honest. I'll add a little bit more glue just to be sure. This is by no means science-based. It's more based on my curiosity, to be honest. Let's see. There, that's better. That's more like a milk. There, that's that. I would have thought this would have soaked it up faster, but I let it just soak in while we continue with our test, and we'll see what it does. Number 2 is CA glue. I figured this one out for myself as well because it's used for pen turning and finishes on turning objects as well. So I'm pretty sure this will close all the grain, if you will, from the MDF, but we'll see how it goes. I'm also a little worried about the smell because I think this will smell a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. There. You can already tell it's soaking in. I can see some dips in the CA glue already. I'm very curious about this one. Wood putty. I'm not sure if the wood putty will penetrate the fibers good enough, but we'll see, I guess. This is just your normal wood putty, fast drying wood putty. We'll see how it goes. There we go. Number 3. This is already starting to look like an interesting comparison, but we'll see. Number 4 is just primer, sanding, and you're finished. I've seen a lot of sign makers use this technique, especially when you're working with spray paint. We're not working with spray paint for this test, but we're working with a polyurethane paint. I think this will work out quite nice because I think the paint will clog up the fibers. Hop. primer, sanding, normal putty for the putty you use on your walls, and then sanding and finish. This is actually a technique that a friend of mine taught me. He's a painter and he uses this technique all the time, and he was pretty confident this was the best technique. So Søren, this one's for you. There, nice and even coverage. And then this one was the most obvious. You just put a primer on it, you sand it, and you finish. If needed, you give it 2 or 3 coats of finish, which, to be honest, is the case for all 7. Hup. And slap on some paint. I've already done this one, so we'll see how this one goes, just as a comparison. I'm not gonna do anything special with this guy. I'm just gonna slap on some paint as the test indicates. I've done a first coat to be sure, but I'm not gonna sand this, but I will give it 2 or 3 coats. We'll leave this to dry overnight. We'll come back tomorrow for the second step, which for most of these is sanding. All of these blanks have had a night's rest. I've just sanded them down for the first time, so I'll be sanding in between pretty much on every blank. I'll be sanding in between every coat. Already now you can see the difference between some of the experiments. Some are alike, but some are completely different. Like for instance with the CA glue and the wood glue, you see kind of the same texture. It's a little plastic, if you will, but you can already tell the edges are harder than with the others. As far as the wood putty goes, I don't think it made a lot of difference. I still have to sand it just a tiny bit, but I think I'm just gonna be sanding everything back down to the MDF, and it'll be the rough edges all over again. But we're gonna try it anyways. We'll see how it goes. Let's get these out of the way, because I also heard some other things which I'm really doubtful about. But hey, I'll try them for the experiment nevertheless. Someone sent me a message. I really can't find who sent me the message, but just tape it off with regular tape, paper tape, and paint over the whole thing. That's not going... I really will be surprised if that will work. So, I'm gonna try. Bonus number 1, we'll add a strip of tape, regular paper tape, and we'll paint over it to see what it does. I'm really suspicious about this because I don't think we'll be able to sand this, nor am I sure it will leave a clean and crisp finish, but we'll see. I'm gonna press it down really firmly, because I think even the moisture level in the paint will make the tape release. But hey, either the person that sent me the trick is laughing his ass off right now, or either we will all be surprised of how good this works. Let's find out. Here goes nothing. We'll let this one dry. If this is going to work, that would be crazy. Bonus number 2 is actually gluing on a strip of wood, no matter what. A strip of wood, 2 millimeters, 3 millimeters, that you can sand down properly, and then put paint over it. Seems pretty obvious, but to be honest, I think it's too time consuming for a thing like this, especially because you can buy edge banding that you just iron on. I'm gonna do it for the sake of the test to see what it does with the edge in between the wood and the MDF. I'm guessing it will show up, but we'll see. And I'm pretty confident that you can sand pretty much any wood fine enough so this edge will look crisp and clean. But I'm more curious about the transfer in between the wood and the MDF. And for this third bonus, you'll have to stick around to the end because we're gonna try something special. Not because I think it's the best way to finish these MDF edges, but I think it will look really, really cool. Couple of things I would like to point out. The worst way you can finish MDF edges is by slapping on paint. Well, that's for sure, we know that by now. The best way to finish MDF edges when you have a small shop or when you're working with a roller instead of a spray boot system, then I'd say primer, sand, and a finish. This way you get a really smooth finish that's by far the fastest way and the cheapest. When it comes to having the most smooth finish you can imagine, then I'd go with CA glue or the epoxy alternative. So the main thing you do here is you close up all the end grain. Well, end grain, you close up the ends, and then you can sand it really smooth and apply a gloss-like finish. It's really, really good, but it's really expensive. So that's the downside about that one. Then another surprise that came to me was first bonus. I can't believe this worked, you guys. This is crazy. I've put on masking tape and 2 coats of finish, and you can see the texture, the paper texture of the paper tape, but to be honest, it's looking really clean. And I didn't have any issues with the tape coming off. Of course, this has been in my shop for about, I think, 3 weeks or something like that. So it hasn't had the endurance tests you would get from a normal, like a cabinet or something like that. But to be honest, I was really, really surprised this worked. So surprise number 1 for sure. Bonus number 2, well, but bonus number 2 is really, really handy when you have an edge banding machine or when you have wooden edge bands you can apply on top of your MDF and then sand it and paint it smooth. I don't like the edges. The edges aren't really crisp, so that's a no-no for me, but it will make for a really strong edge, so that's the advantage there. Number 4 was a test I got from the paint store, and it was a brush on filler. And to be honest, never buy brush on filler because it's really, really bad. It's basically like you have the edge grain of your MDF when you slap on the paint. So that's a big no-no for me. It's like a brush on filler. It's like a brush on putty filler, but to be honest, it didn't perform that well, to be honest. Then number 5 was the shellac. To be honest, I did see different result with 1 coat of shellac and 2 coats of shellac. So I think if you build the coats of shellac like 3, 4, 5 times, I think you would get the same result as with the CA glue and the epoxy, but it's so time consuming. To be honest, I don't think it's really useful for most of us. And then of course, what do I think is the most beautiful finish for MDF edges? Well, it makes sense. Bonus number 3 is for me the best way to finish MDF edges. With rainbow wood, of course. Well, there you have it. That's my take on the perfect way to finish MDF edges. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have some questions, please let me know down below or hit me up on Instagram. I'm posting there all the time. Feel free to ask me any questions there as well. And if you would like to see other things made in rainbow woods, well, let us know down below. And who knows, maybe the next project is your idea. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.